So the Eastern Conference Final matchup has been set. It's the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Atlanta Hawks. A 3 seed versus a 5 seed. That's not something you see in the conference finals every year. With that being said, that was the exact matchup last year with the Celtics versus the Heat. But the Bucks are coming off 2 good wins against 2 good teams. Swept the Heat in the first round, and in the second round beat the Nets in 7 games. Yes, you could argue they only won because the Nets were injured, but you can only play the team in front of you, and they played well in Game 7, and they're pretty much fully healthy, at least their stars are, but DiVincenzo is out. And then the Hawks beat the Knicks in 5 in the first round, and then upset the 76ers in 7 in a series that they played really well in. Obviously, Philly did sort of have a meltdown, but the Hawks were also very good in a series that not many people saw them winning. So I think this should be a pretty good series. As I mentioned, two teams in good form. Let's talk about the Hawks offense first, shall we? Obviously their big offensive centerpiece is Trae Young, and the Bucks have Drew Holiday for him, which is unfortunate. But with that being said, Trae Young has faced good defenders all playoffs. Certainly against the Sixers, where they have Simmons, Thibault, Danny Green a little bit, and he was still able to remain effective, whether that be, just taking your chance whenever you do get a bit of space, getting to the rim, hitting threes, but also the playmaking was the big thing. How many times did he lob it to Capella off the pick and roll, or hit Herter or Bogdanovich when he was about to be doubled, or when he was just being smothered? So I think Trae is smart enough and definitely a good enough player to remain effective, but Drew Holiday is also a very good defender, so they should be able to not let Trae go off that much. And then they also have Brook Lopez and Giannis for rim protection, so I think they're pretty well equipped to stop Trae, but he's still going to be pretty effective. If we think of how else they could get Trae involved, I mean, the big thing for me is bringing Brook Lopez up for screens. We saw Kevin Durant do it constantly when the Nets played the Bucks. So, whoever Brook Lopez is guarding, I'll get a bit more into Brook Lopez later, but let's just assume it's Capella. Bring up Capella Trae pick and roll. They can have success there. If Drew Holiday goes over, it's a 2-on-1. They can't really switch it. If he goes under, it's a 3. So I think they can have success there. One thing the Bucks might try and do is they might just double Trae, though I doubt they'll do it too much, because if they weren't doing it to KD that much, then I don't know about Trae. But if they do, I think the Hawks are well equipped to deal with that with Herter and Bogdanovich, who really stepped up. If we think of them, yeah, they can have some success, whether it be the minutes where Trae's not on the floor or just playing off of Trae, like I said. Pick and roll, spotting up. If the Hawks can get in transition and generate open threes that way, I think that'll be successful. I think also above the break threes are going to be available, just because Brook Lopez is a big that doesn't really like to leave the paint. So just picking on Brook Lopez can have a lot of success there. And then when Forbes is in the game, or if Portis is in the game, just going after them, that sort of stuff, they can do. Maybe a few Gallo post-ups too. I'll talk about the matchups, but if he has someone a bit smaller on him, or if they just need a mid-ranger, that's a good option. Maybe a few pick and pops too, open up the lane, whether it's Gallo or Collins setting the screen. If Capella isn't out there, or Capella can be in the dunker spot, that could open up the lane for Trae or Herter or Bogdanovich, whoever it is. That seems like what the Hawks are going to do, and I think the Bucks are well equipped to stop it, but I also think the Hawks are going to have some success. So if we think about the matchups, so Drew on Trae, that seems pretty obvious. Then it gets a bit tougher. Who do you want to put Middleton on? Will the Bucks stay with their big lineup of Drew, Middleton, Brook Lopez, Giannis, PJ Tucker, or will they maybe put in Pat Connaughton? But if they start with the big lineup, which I think they probably will game 1, I think you probably go, Middleton on Herter or Bogdanovich, whoever starts, or if they both start, I would probably prefer to put it on Bogdanovich because I think he's a little bit better. And then, maybe you go, it gets tough because if they're playing both Herter and Bogdanovic, which I think they could definitely do, then you need to put one of Giannis or PJ Tucker on them, which isn't the end of the world. But you would rather do something like having PJ Tucker on Gallinari and Giannis on John Collins and then Brook Lopez on Capella. But this issue can be very much solved for the Bucks if they just take Brook Lopez off the floor and put on Pat Connaughton, because then you can go with Giannis on Capella and they could switch, or they can trap, or they can double, or they can ice, or they can show. They have so many more options in the pick and roll if Giannis is the one defending the center against Trey. And then the rest of the matchups kind of even out more. You have PJ Tucker. You'd probably stick him on Gallinari still. Maybe put Middleton on Collins, that sort of thing, and that could work a lot better for the Bucks. So if I'm the Bucks, if I'm Mike Budenholzer, which I doubt, he'll do it for some stretches, but he won't do it as much as I want. I'd go Giannis at center, then have Tucker, Middleton, Connaughton, and Holiday out there. I think that could be a really, really successful lineup to the Bucks. Just how much they go to it is the real question. Okay, if we talk about the Bucks offense, the obvious question is who's going to guard Giannis for the Hawks, and that's tough. I think if Hunter had been healthy, he would have guarded him, but he's not. So maybe they go Capella, though that gives Giannis a lot of space. Whether it be him shooting threes or long twos, which the Hawks will live with and will invite. The problem becomes if he starts running handoffs with Middleton, with Holiday, then they can have some success, the Bucks. So maybe you put Collins on him, though Collins, though improved, still isn't a great defender. So they're sort of limited for options. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. One problem that they don't have to worry about is, whichever one of Collins or Capella or whoever it is that doesn't guard Giannis can pretty easily guard Brook Lopez, which is good. I also wonder who they'd stick Trey on. I think probably PJ Tucker. And then would the Bucks post PJ Tucker or just live with it, have him stand in the corner, or maybe have him set a few screens on Giannis's guy, try and pick on Trae Young. Though the Bucks aren't super suited to do that, I think if they can get Trey switched onto Giannis, they can have some success. And then same thing goes for Lou Williams and the other smaller Hawks guards. Then who guards Middleton and Holiday? I think, will we see more Tony Snell and Solomon Hill in this series to try and guard Middleton, or will they trust Bogdanovic, Gallo, Herter, and try and just keep the offense out there? I think they'll probably just try and keep the offense out there. I mean, it's what's gotten them there, and I think, to win this series, the Hawks are going to have to be good offensively, but we'll have to see. And then on Drew, one of Herter or Bogdanovic. It's not great, but it's better than sticking Trey on him. So, if I think of some other Bucks offense things, just trying to get Giannis as a screener going downhill. I don't really want to be seeing him dribble around the top of the key and not doing too much. But I think the Bucks have learned from that 7-game series with the Nets, and I think they will be able to adjust and be good offensively, especially how Atlanta isn't a super great defense. Brook Lopez, Pat Connaughton, PJ Tucker hitting their threes. That's pretty self-explanatory. You need the spacing for Giannis and for, when they run those Giannis Drew, Giannis Middleton 2-man games, handoffs, pick and roll, whatever it be. You need the floor to be spaced. And then also, I think they could maybe have a little bit of success attacking the offensive glass, whether it be Brook Lopez or Giannis or, one of the guards crashing the boards. PJ Tucker, he likes to run in, crash the boards from the corner. Just try and do that. Maybe you can get a few extra possessions. That all that sort of thing helps. Okay, if I think of a prediction, I think the Bucks are going to win. It's no disrespect to the Hawks. I just think they're better. They have Giannis, they have Drew, they have Middleton. They just won a 7-game series, though the Hawks did too. But I think they'll be feeling confident. I think they've gained some valuable experience and they're really gelling, and their stars are just all healthy. I think the Hunter injury really hurts the Hawks. I think they'd have a lot better chance with them. Though I don't think it'll be a sweep. So I'm going to say the Bucks in 6 to be safe. I think the Hawks are going to win one game where they're just attacking Brook Lopez, and then win one game where they shoot really well from 3, but the rest of the time I think the Bucks are going to win it. So I'll go with Bucks in 6. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.